White House. Joining me now from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Senior Director from AFMAC Global and Global Security Consultant, Adam Curtis. Adam, Google, Facebook, Twitter, they are all joining forces, among others, to, quote, police the internet speech. They say ostensibly it's to try and control and mitigate terrorists and terrorism. I don't buy it. Do you?
I do. I think the European Commission now, with those various platforms, have unveiled a code of conduct, and I think it shows that they're being very proactive. It places those particular platforms in a difficult position where they have to balance between providing the public access to information, but also they have to be very careful about hate crimes and speech and the platforms that may be used on.
But these companies were born and bred, if you will, in the United States, and we have this thing called the First Amendment. And shouldn't the First Amendment trump any kind of speech police?
I think, the First Amendment, obviously, you need to abide by that, but I think also, too, as I said earlier, you have to balance it. And I think particularly Facebook has been very proactive in ensuring that even though they're allowing the public to freedom of speech, they've also assembled a team to focus against terrorism content. And for instance, they won't let the leader of Boko Haram publish photos and that sort of thing. So, I think they're being proactive, but also they're trying to balance it. And definitely freedom of speech, but I think also, too, you can't permit radicalisation either.
Now, I'll give you that this is a private organization. There's nobody with anybody's gun to a head to join Facebook or to tweet out on Twitter or to engage with Google or whatever on the internet, right? Okay, I agree. I get that. But at the same time, who's to determine what hate speech is? If I write something on my Facebook page that says, hey, Barack Obama has big ears, one of the PC police at Facebook could say that's hate speech and they can shut me down. My point is, this is completely arbitrary. It's completely subjective.
I disagree. I think that the fact that they've collaborated, Google, Twitter, Facebook, they've collaborated with the European Commission to create a series of commitments to combat these. It's not just one platform coming out and saying, well, we're going to completely police everything. It's all these platforms coming together with the European Commission to say, you know what, we're going to decide on what is and what isn't, and what's appropriate and what shouldn't be published. And these are the rules that we should be guided by as a form of code of conduct. And I think that shows that they are being very proactive in trying to mitigate radicalisation on social media.
The problem I have with it is that we don't have a code of conduct in this country regarding the First Amendment, and the people that they put in charge of deciding what the code of conduct is may not agree with me or with you. And we've seen it already through Facebook. Facebook's been caught red-handed by censoring all kinds of conservative viewpoints and conservative news feeds on a platform that ostensibly says it's all about the First Amendment. And you have Zuckerberg wrapping himself in the First Amendment all the time, yet when it comes to speech that he may not agree with, he shuts it down. You don't see that as a problem?
I think the fact that they've created the series of commitments with the European Commission would set some ground rules about what is appropriate to launch on social media. And with the collaboration of all these platforms, I think it shows some consistency across the board, where it's just not one platform policing. It's a collaboration of them to determine what is appropriate and what isn't. So I disagree with your comment there. I think that they're showing that in some instances they haven't been quick enough, perhaps, to remove certain items, but I think this is showing a step forward in the right direction.
If you were an astute entrepreneur and you saw Facebook shutting down certain kinds of speech, wouldn't this produce someone who might come up with a new Facebook and say, hey, listen, we're not going to be governed by this agreement. We're not going to try and limit your First Amendment rights. You think there's an opportunity for somebody like that?
Definitely, but I think then if they do launch that platform, then maybe they may suffer some criticisms as well. and may find that that platform may not be utilised as frequently as what they want because they have published stuff that that people would believe may be hate crimes or hate speech.
Well, I think it's blatant censorship under the guise of fair speech, and in this country, in our Constitution, it doesn't say we have a right to fair speech. It has the right to free speech. Adam, thanks.